What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Daily Upside. I'm your host, Keenan Rivals, and this is the High Upside Show. If this is your first time checking out the High Upside Show, then first of all, welcome to the channel. We try to talk about sports card investing every day. My goal is to bring you just what's going on in the market. There's so much to keep up with, so many auctions, so much news. So every day, or at least every weekday, I try to jump on here and just kind of give you a briefing of what's happening in sports cards. Before we get into the show, I just want to let everybody know I am on Instagram. If you haven't already, if you're new here, definitely shoot me a follow. These numbers, they don't mean too much, but I do love engaging with you guys. So definitely check me out on that platform. Also, shoot your boy a follow on Twitter. That's probably where I'm the most active. I'm going to be tweeting pretty much every day. I just tweet a lot. I tweet a lot about sports, sports cards. I retweet, I share. You're going to get a lot of information listening to this episode. But if you want it in real time, it's probably going to be best to follow me on Twitter. Also, if you haven't already, do me a favor here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and also like the video. And don't be afraid to share it, guys. It means so much. It helps so much and it costs you so little. So definitely do me a favor and knock those things out. Jumping right into some NBA news, I want to talk about this article here on the Bleacher Report. They're just doing their NBA power rankings. We all know power rankings. They rank the top 30 teams. I like Bleacher Reports though because they give you a little snippet here, like a little bit of analysis, and they make it kind of easy to compare it to last week. Now we kind of know who the top teams are, so I won't get too much into this. But if you're new to the sports cards world, or if you're just a long-term investor and you're trying to figure out how to make some more plays, these type of articles, this type of analysis is definitely helpful. It's going to tell you who's injured, who's doing well, who's not doing well, and you might be able to find some steals in here. I was looking at the top three guys, and yeah, number one was the 76ers. So shout out to my boy Joel Embiid. A lot of folks laughed at me for saying that he was going to be dominant this year, and that's exactly what he's doing. But yeah, if you look at these top three guys, you got the 76ers, you got the Utah Jazz, and you got the LA Clippers. All of these guys are kind of underrated. Joel Embiid's cards are extremely underrated right now compared to other centers, of his stature. Donovan Mitchell cards are super underrated compared to people of his stature. Jason Tatum, Trey Young, like he's up there with those like young superstars, but his cards are super undervalued. So him being at number two is definitely a play. And then Kawhi Leonard in the LA Clippers, no one's just talking about them anymore. We had Kawhi and Paul George on the team. We were like, that's a guaranteed championship. And now we're just like, they're okay. So maybe it's time to buy Kawhi. Maybe it's time to look into him. Modern cards aren't doing too great right now, but as we kind of get towards this playoff push, as we get actually once we get towards the All-Star season, I expect that to change. I expect some of these guys to see boost in value, and I expect these playoff teams to start getting some real attention. Now, another article Bleacher Report dropped was their NBA young stars on the edge of All-Star status. If you want to find these, I'll leave both of them down in the description so you can like kind of check them out yourself. And yeah, essentially what they did here was they listed 5 players that they thought were going to be like on the verge of making the All-Star game. I won't give them all away because I know sometimes the fun is figuring out or reading it yourself. But the first one was Jaylen Brown, who's having an amazing season. He's putting up 27.1 points per game, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals. Jaylen Brown's doing his thing right now. We'll see if Bradley Beal makes the All-Star game this year. But Jaylen Brown right now is putting up an impressive numbers. And I think we all saw this coming. Like I think we all thought Jaylen Brown was going to have a great season, but I mean, I didn't expect him to have this good of a season. I mean, 27 points per game, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals. He's like basically a two-way player. He's shooting 55%, inside the three-point line, 44% outside the three. He's shooting 70% around the rim. I mean, those are like Ben Simmons percentages around the rim. So like he's super efficient, just young, and one of the most poised players in basketball. And I guess this is a good time to transition since we're not going to go through all of these. Let's jump into his cards. So yeah, this is just a great segue. We saw yesterday his 2016-17 Prism Silver PSA 10 sold for $2,550. Again, that is an all-time high for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has reached $15 shipping status. You know what that means when a card shipping is $15. You know it's a high-end card. You know it's a wanted card. So shout out to you guys who have been holding Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen Brown. I think this is a bit much for him long term. I'm talking long term. I don't know how dominant he's going to be. I think he's still going to be a great player long term. I don't know if he'll be able to sustain these kind of price points just with his lack of personality. And he's a great scorer, but $2,500 for this card seems like a lot. And I'm only saying that because I'm kind of putting Jalen, like, this puts him up there with the future of basketball. This puts him up there with Trey Young. I looked at card ladder. This actually puts him past Trey Young. So Jalen Brown's cards are past Trey Young on every spectrum too. It's not even like one thing. So you see his Prism Silver PSA 10 just over 25.50, where Trey Young's last Prism PSA 10 sold for $2,247. Trey Young's Prism PSA 10 Silver has taken a significant drop, even though he's been playing pretty well himself. I mean, we're talking 40% drop. We see his Prism PSA 10, just the base rookie, is going for $595, while Trey Young is going for $561. And then we even see it on his Prism PSA 9. I mean, Jalen Brown's going for 205 and Trey Young's going for 154. Now, these price points are obviously kind of inflated. These are the individual prices. If you guys have been following me, that's not how I trade. So for those who know what you know, but yeah, it's because the majority of the market is trading price, at least right now. It's shocking to see Jalen Brown start to push over, and you wonder if this is happening because everyone's moving more towards the market cap method. Everyone's starting to understand, like, oh man, this is like super, super saturated and this one's not. So this one should be more. And, if that made sense to you guys, then you're already ahead of the game. For those of you who didn't make sense to, again, I recommend you pick up the market cap method. But yeah, thought I would share this because it's just super interesting to see Jalen Brown take this leap. You normally don't see the second star push past like a main star in basketball. So yeah, we'll see how that continues to play out, especially with Jalen Brown's cards being limited. Will they continue to move up because there's not that many? We'll have to wait and see. Another thing that I was looking at with Jalen Brown was just kind of comparing him to Jason Tatum. And, obviously Jason Tatum also has a much larger pop. But we're seeing that Jason Tatum's last Prism PSA 10 silver sold for $2,907 and Jalen Brown sold for $2,550. So he's not even that far off Jason Tatum. So again, interesting to see how that plays out. Now, if we're just talking individual price points, then I do think that makes Jalen Brown a little bit overvalued. I do think the general public is going to look at him as overvalued. But if we're talking about the market cap method, if we're looking at pop reports and things of that nature, then I would say this is a pretty fair price point for Jalen Brown. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. How do you feel about Jalen Brown being a few dollars cheaper than Jason Tatum? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's crazy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another crazy thing that's been happening in the market is Kobe's Finest PSA 10. So I featured this card as well as the Bowman's Best PSA 10 rookie of Kobe on Morning Bins. I talked about how they're kind of undervalued, and that's something I want to get into, more a little bit later. But yeah, the card has lately just been going for all over. It's just been all over the place. I see one ended at 2,500. We've seen a two card lot end at $8,650 for his PSA 10 finest rookie. We've seen some in for $3,150. And then we've seen some in for $1,756. So I have no idea what's going on with this card. I don't know if it's being shielded. I don't know if it's being ran up. I do think that it's a great, great value, but I'm just pointing this out for some of you out there. Tread lightly with this card. Don't buy into the highest value because I'm not sure what's real and what's not real. They seem to be going all over the place, and there was an abundance of them listed yesterday. And the idea that this ranged from $1,756 all the way up to like 3,250 or something along those lines just doesn't make sense. So if you're looking for a Kobe Finest PSA 10, definitely tread lightly. Definitely try to get a good value. I mean, I think there's some bins right now probably for cheaper than that. We got one at 4,500. We got one at 2,650. So that's under the 3,150. Yeah, I just don't know. I thought I would just point this out because it's interesting. If anybody knows what's happening with Kobe's Finest, let me know. Also, I'm just interested on you guys' take with Kobe's Finest. Are you somebody who prefers the coating? Do you like the coating? Or are you somebody who prefers no coating? I've always found that interesting. I think with coating is like the proper rookie card that everyone kind of searches for, but you don't see too many without the coating. So I'm interested in what you guys think about this card. But yeah, either way, Kobe's rookies are kind of crazy all over the place right now. We're past February, so we'll see how these continue to play out. Are you guys still buying Kobe? Do you feel like the hype is over? I know that's dark to say, but let me know again in the comments because I'm interested to see what you guys are thinking and what you guys are looking at. I really do like the finest rookie. I think it's his next best card. I think Bowman's best is right up there. It kind of reminds me of LeBron with pristine Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome. So I think that the finest is probably the next one. But with these prices being all over the place, it's definitely hard to buy in because I feel like I remember seeing this with this Topps rookie. I feel like this happened with this Topps rookie, and then we saw it kind of crash down. So again, let me know what you guys think about these values and what you're looking at when it comes to Kobe. Last but not least, here, just one of the cards I wanted to point out. There were a lot of cards that had some good upticks yesterday. This one really stood out to me. It was Kevin Durant's Topps Chrome Refractor. This one's numbered to 14.99, also a PSA 10, and it sold for $51,350. And this one isn't shocking to me, guys, and I'm gonna tell you why. Michael Jordan's Fleer rookie going for the price that it recently went for, like LeBron James's Topps Chrome PSA 10s going for the price they recently went for. They just changed the entire game. We base this entire market, whether you guys have realized it or not, off those two cards for the most part. We're looking at Michael Jordan. We're saying, okay, Michael Jordan's 200 grand. Then that means all these other cards follow suit. Okay, LeBron James, his Topps Chrome rookie is 12 grand. Then all these other cards follow suit. And then those cards just like tripled in value. Now LeBron James's Topps Chrome rookie is going for $36,000. Well, that changes everything. If LeBron James's Topps Chrome card is going for $36,000, well, then Kevin Durant's Topps Chrome Refractor at $20,000 is steal, which is now why we see it going for $51,000. Oh, and Kobe's Topps Chrome is also a steal. Oh, and so is this guy, and so is that guy. Like it changes the entire market. That's kind of how the market cap method works. When those two juggernauts increase, well, the rest of the market increases. It's similar like to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to 100,000 tomorrow, well, then Ethereum's going to follow because now Ethereum's going to be seen as undervalued. And if Ethereum goes to 100, 10,000 or I don't know, well, then Polkadot might follow because now that seems undervalued, and then so on and so forth. So with these bit cards going up in so much value, it's now time for these other bit cards to start going up in value. It's why I tweeted a long time ago, that high end cards are super underrated because they've yet to uptick. Stephen Curry's card needs to go up now because LeBron James's card went up. Kevin Durant's needs to go up. If the Bucks can start winning, then Giannis's card might need to go up. So definitely think about that when you're buying into these cards. When we see these other cards double and triple in value, investors are just going to be looking for the next double or triple opportunity. It's just going to have this trickling effect. If LeBron's card is going to 40,000, then how much is Dwayne Wade's worth now? If Kobe cards go up, then how much is Allen Iverson worth? If Jordan goes up, then is Akeem going to go up? Like these are the kind of things we have to think about and that we have to jump on as investors. So I'm not shocked to see this Kevin Durant go for $51,000. What I am shocked though is how cheap his BGS 9.5 is. I understand BGS isn't having the best reputation right now. We'll get into that, but to be able to find this card at $18,000 to me is just insane. Yes, $18,000 is a lot of money. I know everybody doesn't have $18,000. It's an absurd amount of money to spend on anything, let alone a card. But as an investor, if you see this one go for 51,000, this just seems relatively cheap. In fact, if you look at Card Ladder, you can kind of see, like, if you look at LeBron James's Topps Chrome Refractor, we had a PSA 10 go for 115,000. And if you look at his BGS 9.5 refractor, it went for 75,000. So LeBron James's Topps Chrome Refractor is like a 1.5x in terms of value from his BGS 9.5. But when you look at, again, Kevin Durant's PSA 10 Topps Chrome Refractor, and then you compare it to his BGS 9.5 Topps Chrome Refractor, we're looking at about a 3x in value. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. And in my opinion, that makes the BGS 9.5 just extremely undervalued. Like, I would rather buy two BGS 9.5s, send them to PSA, and just try my luck versus spending $51,000 on the PSA 10. I mean, ideally, if we're using LeBron's multiplier, then the proper price for this Kevin Durant Topps Chrome Refractor should be about $24,000. So for somebody who has $18,000, or as Card Ladder says, $16,000, as that's with the last Kevin Durant Topps Chrome BGS 9.5 refractor. So then maybe you might want to look into getting a Kevin Durant, because to me, the valuations don't make sense. It may not be a quick play. It may not be a for sure play, but it's a really smart fundamental play. And I love fundamental plays. I love plays that don't really include player performance. They just include fundamentals. Like, oh, if this happens and this happens, then this should happen next. And it doesn't always happen fast. but it typically does eventually happen. And that's the kind of analysis and plays that we make here. We look at the fundamentals. We don't try to ride waves. I'm not trying to be too trendy. I'm not trying to get in and out of cards in 2 weeks and only make plays that happen within a 2 week time frame. I try to look at these charts. I try to find things that make sense. And to me, this doesn't make sense. So it does make sense to maybe look into it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about BGS's Topps Chrome Refractor. And I know a few of you are like, look, I'm not buying BGS. There's some scammers. There was some news that they're trying to figure out how to improve their cases. So while that may not increase the value of the cards you have now, it might be a thing where you can send your card into BGS, get the new and improved case, get your card verified and authenticated. Maybe that will increase the value of the card and kind of give Beckett, some more positive market share when it comes to graded cards. So I'm not sure when this is going to happen or when it's supposed to happen, but I did read this article and apparently there's an interview talking about it. So I'll leave that in the link as well. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. So just kind of a random show. Had a couple things I wanted to talk about, talking about those Kevin Durant cards, the Kobe Finest, and just jumping into some of those Jaylen Brown Prism cards, because I think that valuation is crazy, especially during a time where we're just like, modern cards aren't really doing well. It's like, yeah, they are. Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, those guys are doing pretty well. And we're going to continue to add players to that list as the season goes on. If you guys haven't already, check out the highupsideshow.com. Right now, I'm doing 20% off the annual and monthly subscription. So I'll leave the link to that in the bio. Save 20%. Join the Discord and come chop it up with us. Yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy investing.